Flamingos are tall, mostly pink birds with long legs. A flamingo often stands with its long, thin neck curved into an S shape. Flamingos fly and feed in large flocks of hundreds to even millions of birds. Like storks, herons, and ibises, flamingos are wading birds. This means that they feed while standing or walking in shallow water. Flamingos live in warm regions near lakes and bodies of water called lagoons. There are 5 species or types of flamingo. The most common type is the lesser flamingo. It is found mainly in eastern and southern Africa and India. Other types of flamingo come from Central and South America, Caribbean islands, Southern Europe, Africa, the Middle East, and Southern Asia. A flamingo has webbed feet, a slender body, large wings, and a short tail. Its head is small and its bill curves downward. It stands between about 3 feet, almost 1 meter, and 5 feet, 1.5 meters, tall. Flamingos feed with their heads down in shallow water or mud. A flamingo's bill has a series of hair-like plates inside that act as a filter. The bird uses its bill to strain food from the water. Flamingos eat tiny living things such as algae and small animals such as shrimp and snails. Flamingos are highly gregarious birds. Flocks numbering in the hundreds may be seen in long, curving flight formations and in wading groups along the shore. On some of East Africa's large lakes, more than 1 million lesser flamingos, Phoeniconias minor, gather during the breeding season. In flight, flamingos present a striking and beautiful sight, with legs and necks stretched out straight, looking like white and rosy crosses with black arms. No less interesting is the flock at rest, with their long necks twisted or coiled upon the body in any conceivable position. Flamingos are often seen standing on one leg. Various reasons for this habit, such as regulation of body temperature, conservation of energy, or merely to dry out the legs. The nest is a truncated cone of muddy clay piled up a few inches in a shallow lagoon. Both parents share the month-long incubation of the 1 or 2 chalky white eggs that are laid in the hollow of the cone. Downy white young leave the nest in 2 or 3 days and are fed by regurgitation of partly digested food by the adults. To feed, flamingos tramp the shallows, head down and bill underwater, stirring up organic matter with their webbed feet. They eat various types of food, including diatoms, algae, blue-green algae, and invertebrates such as minute mollusks and crustaceans. While the head swings from side to side, food is strained from the muddy water with small comb-like structures inside the bill. The bird's pink color comes from its food, which contains carotenoid pigments. The diet of flamingos kept in zoos is sometimes supplemented with food coloring to keep their plumage from fading. The greater flamingo, Phoenicopterus roseus, breeds in large colonies on the coasts of the Atlantic Ocean and Gulf of Mexico in tropical and subtropical America. There are 2 subspecies of the greater flamingo, the Caribbean flamingo, P. ruber, and the Old World flamingo, P. ruber roseus, of Africa and southern Europe and Asia. The Chilean flamingo, Phoenicopterus chilensis, is primarily an inland species. 2 smaller species that live high in the Andes Mountains of South America are the Andean flamingo, Phoenicopterus andinus, and the Puna or James's flamingo, Phoenicopterus jamesi. The former has a pink band on each of its yellow legs, and the latter was thought extinct until a remote population was discovered in 1956. The lesser flamingo, Phoeniconias minor, which inhabits the Lake District of East Africa and parts of South Africa, Madagascar, and India, is the most abundant. It is also the smallest and the deepest in color. In ancient Rome, flamingo tongues were eaten as a rare delicacy. Flamingos constitute the family Phoenicopteridae, which is the only family in the order Phoenicopteriformes. They are sometimes classified in the order Syconiiformes, herons and storks, but also show similarities to Anseriformes, ducks and geese, Charadriformes, shorebirds, and Pelicaniformes, pelicans and cormorants. Mollusks of the genus Cerathium are a favorite food of some flamingos. The flamingo gets the mollusks by plunging its head into water and mud, twisting it upside down, and scooping up the mollusks with its upper beak. The feeding bird forces out sand and mud taken in with the food through ridges along the sides of the beak. The American scarlet flamingo, known scientifically as Phoenicopterus ruber, is becoming increasingly rare. It lives in the Bahamas, Cuba, Haiti, and along the coasts of Central and South America from Yucatan to Brazil and Chile. Flamingos nest in colonies on coastal salt mud flats. The nest is a truncated cone of clay-like mud piled up a few inches in a shallow lagoon. The female usually lays a single egg, and her mate helps her hatch it in about 30 days. The young are covered with white down. At first, the bill is straight. Then it gradually takes a downward curve. In zoological gardens, flamingos often lose their bright colors, but these can be restored by proper feeding.